Hey, what's up? This is Will Powers from Evolution of Man. And what I want to talk to you about today is how to flip the script with girls and get them chasing you. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly what you need to do when you approach girls to get them chasing you, even though you're the one who approached them. You're also going to understand why this works. And you can also use this method with girls you already know who are in your social circle or who you meet at parties, but you have to be a little more subtle and calibrated with it in those situations. This very powerful method I'm going to teach you is called qualification. I have a clip from a seminar I did where I go into depth about the process of qualification and give you several examples of how it's done so you can go out and do it yourself. Before we jump into it, make sure you smash that subscribe button and click the little bell so you're notified anytime I release a new video. And make sure you share this video with anyone who you know who wants to learn how to flip the script with girls and get them chasing. And comment down below your biggest takeaway and also any other ways you know of to get girls chasing you that might be different. Also, if you have a hard time sparking attraction with girls and changing the vibe of the interaction from something platonic to something more sexual or romantic in nature, then I have good news for you. I actually created a free attraction cheat sheet. In it, I give you 3 ways to instantly spark attraction with any girl without using cheesy pickup lines or scripted routines. And a lot of the stuff in there is also definitely designed to get her chasing you. You can get access to that now by clicking the first link down below in the description. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you join my Facebook group as well. The link for that is also down below in the description. I put out weekly live streams in there that are full of really valuable, amazing content where I go into depth into a lot of very powerful and unique concepts that I don't even go into in my YouTube videos. So you definitely do not want to miss out on these live streams. And make sure you follow me on IG at _WillPowers. I don't want to waste any more of your time. So without further ado, let's jump into the seminar clip. Next we got qualification. So what is qualification? Qualification is basically flipping the script. It's basically getting the girl to prove herself to you. And because that's part of the prize frame, right? You know that the girl has to prove herself to you. So basically, in order to qualify a girl, you have to have standards. You have to have standards that she has to meet. And you're flipping the script because instead of her being the one to see like, oh, is this guy cool enough, you're in that frame where you're qualifying her for the things you want in a woman, showing her that you have standards. So the importance of having standards is extremely important, because a man with standards and with boundaries, that's the kind of man that a woman knows she has to work for. She has to earn his desire, earn his approval and his validation, and that's what makes her attracted, because she knows that she feels like she's going to be lucky if she wins him over. So it's really important to have standards, and that's what qualification shows, is that you have standards. It also gets her chasing, right? Because she has to win you over. So that's how you get a girl to chase. You qualify, and you get her to feel like she has to win you over. And then, really, at that point, you just need to just chill the fuck out. You need to let her game you. Shut up.
Yeah.
Just don't talk and let her invest. So it also shows the girl that you're high value. By qualifying her, you're being high value. You're getting her to seek your approval. So basically, I'll give you some examples of some qualifiers, examples of ways you can qualify a girl. So a really, really simple way, if you don't have anything else in your mind at the time, is just asking a girl to tell you something that's cool about her. So maybe, this is again after the direct opener and after the false time constraint. So you would say something like, oh, what are you up to today, blah, blah, blah. I gotta go in a second. But before I go, tell me one cool thing about you, right? That's a super simple general qualifier. Dating actually works really well though, because what does it do? It puts the girl on the spot. She now has to actually think about something cool about her to tell you, and shit fucking works. So, and that's super generic, but the good one about that one is you can for sure use the right tonality when you do it, which is breaking the poor tonality to go down with the inflection at the end of your sentence. So you're not like, that's really important, because if you qualify a girl with the wrong tonality, you're not qualifying a girl. You're just like seeking rapport, and she's gonna feel like that. So you're like, oh, you know, tell me something cool about you. That's not qualifying a girl. Exactly. So if you're breaking rapport tonality is more like, well, so you know, I actually have to catch up with a friend in a second, but before I go, I know nothing about you. Tell me one cool thing about you. Right? It's kind of like you're telling her, it's a command to tell you something that's cool about her. Or another one that I like to use a lot is like, just like, so, you know, before I go, like, tell me something about you. Like, are you adventurous? So, and you want to really have the right kind of eye contact and body language in doing this. That's basically communicating to the girl that you're not sure if you like her yet. Like, her looks got her foot in the door, but they're not enough. And that's like a mantra I want you to have in your head. It's like, her looks are not enough. They're not enough. So you gotta think like, okay, the girl's hot. Let's go find out if I actually like her. Let's go find out if she meets my standards. Let's go find out what else she has going on for her besides her looks, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can actually say that shit to the girl. But you gotta make sure, you know, it's about calibration and timing when it comes to stuff like that. So also some other examples of disqualifying. So there's qualifying and disqualifying. So disqualifying is basically letting the girl know that maybe she doesn't have a chance with you. And this is really, really powerful. Yeah. And this gets girls chasing a lot too. Because every other guy is like hoping he's got a chance, he's clamoring for her attention, and he's trying to prove himself to her. And when you show her that maybe she doesn't have a chance with you, then it flips the script. And it gets her, first of all, knowing you're not an easy dude, you're not going to seek her approval, and that, you know, she really doesn't know if you're into her. Like, she really second guesses herself. So basically, a way you can do that, like a simple, generic way, which is also works pretty powerfully, is just to say something like, after the girl qualifies and says something you like, or actually something you don't like, then you would say like, oh, this is never going to work out. It's never going to work out between us, right? Like, you know, and then you can add stuff to that, like, oh, it's never going to work out between us. Like, I only date girls who, you know, who are taller than my nipple. Whatever. Whatever you can say. You know, you're too short for me.
That's
or whatever.
fucking funny. I'm stealing that.
But basically. And actually, let me back up. So qualifying, the other part of it is it's a reward, right? So when the girl does qualify and she actually does say something you like, you want to reward her. You always want to be rewarding when the girl does something you like. So if she says, if you're like, oh, are you adventurous? And then she's like, yeah, actually I am pretty adventurous. Then that's when you want to, like, I personally like give her a high five. Like, oh, that's cool, that's what's up. Give her a high five. Because you're rewarding her with that physical touch, with that escalation. And then me personally, I will further qualify. So, and that's really powerful. So if she says she's adventurous, I give her a high five, and then I might ask her, so like, what's the most adventurous thing you've done in the last like couple months, right? So she says she's adventurous, now she has to actually prove that. And then if she does think of something really cool that I actually do like, and again, I would only do it if I really do like it. Then I would actually be like, oh, yeah, that's cool. You know, you get a hug for that, and I'll give her a hug. So I actually verbalize the fact that I'm rewarding her with physical touch. And then again, with the disqualifier, if she says something I don't like, if I'm like, because another qualifier that I like to use is like, I'm super into hip hop. That's like really, really important to me. And so if a girl's not into hip hop, that's just like a deal breaker. It's just not gonna happen. I don't care how hot she is, it doesn't really matter. So if I ask her, I'm like, so you know, do you like hip hop? And then she's like no. And I'll be like, oh, this is never gonna work out. Or like even better, because also you never want to use a disqualifier until you know the girl's attracted. If you use a disqualifier too early, it's gonna backfire. You want to know she's attracted first, build that attraction. Qualifier, get her really attracted. Then when she says something you don't like, you can throw in the, oh, it would never work out between us. or something more specific, like, oh, I don't date, I don't date girls who are shorter than my nipple or whatever, or you can use it, or you can turn it into like a push-pull. You can be like, I don't, like, yeah, well, you're pretty cute, but I don't date blonde girls. I totally swore off blondes. Like they're way too much trouble. They always get me into too much trouble. They're way too wild, or whatever it is. That basically you're telling her that she can't have it, right? You disqualified her, and that's really, really, really powerful. But you got to do it in the right moment.
Yeah.
Because if you do it too early, it will not work. She'll be like, okay, whatever. Like it's not gonna work out. It's like, yeah. But if you get her invested and then you say that, she's usually always gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Why? Because she's feeling the tension, she's feeling the nervousness. And of course, what's really key is that you're playful when you're doing this. You're not like, it would never work out. This would never, not gonna happen. Just give up now. Like,
Just give the one true guy.
No, instead it's like, like, this isn't gonna work out, right? So think about different ways you can disqualify a girl, and think about the ways you can screen a girl for the qualities that you want in a girl, which we're going to do an exercise on at the end. That's really, really important, is knowing what you want and then screening for those qualities, right, when you're qualifying the girl. And then the other thing it does is it elicits investment. So the importance of investment is that regardless of how good your game is, regardless, well, really wouldn't be that good, regardless of if you're really charming and funny and charismatic, if you don't get the girl to invest in the conversation, she really doesn't give a fuck. She's going to be like, oh, that was cool, that was fun, but she's not going to actually feel like she worked for you, right? That's why you want her to talk. The less you can talk and the more you can get her to talk, the better. So if you can get her to really open up about herself and really be qualifying to you while you're still a mystery, and you're not really telling too much about yourself, then that's the best scenario. And the reality is that anything you say to her that is like, if she asks you questions and then you answer about like saying anything that's cool about yourself, then you're going to lose value in her eyes, because you're essentially, she's going to still feel like you're trying to prove herself to you. You're trying to prove yourself to her. You could be a fucking millionaire, you could really have all this shit going on, and if you say like, oh yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, I do this and that, you're qualifying yourself to the girl. It's actually better to like not even fucking answer the question, or just challenge her and like say something funny. Like an old school game, like they used to say, you'd say like, the girl's like, what do you do? You'd be like, oh, I'm an ass model, or some shit like that. And then she's like, you gotta say it playfully, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
I'm an ass model. I've actually had girls like be like, really? Like actually, and I'm like, yeah, but I just, I just got it insured, so you can't touch it. Some shit like that. Or, and then of course when she's like, you're like, no, dork. Like I'm not an ass model, and then calling a girl a dork is really powerful as well. Call a girl a dork as soon as you get a chance, if she does anything that you can use that with. Same thing with, another one would be like, like I like to do this a lot actually. Like I'm a professional thumb wrestler, right? And then you challenge the girl immediately. You'd be like, here, like let's see what you got, and then you thumb wrestle her.
Literally thumb wrestling 2 girls at once.
There you go. See, that's awesome.
And then close your eyes too, just to like.
The friend tried cock blocking me, and I thumb wrestled her, and then the girl I was engaging with earlier, she was starting to foot. I'm like, no, get your ass over here. And
nice.
It's just
double thumb wrestling. Thumb wrestling is super playful, super fun. And again, like a lot of times when you do this shit, like sometimes the girl will really want to know, no, what do you really do? And other times, like they like that you left it a mystery and they won't ask you anymore. So, and same if they ask you a question like, how old are you or whatever, just challenge them. Don't tell them right away. Like you'd be like, guess. Make them guess. Make them work for it, right? So, so that's investment. And selectivity is the last part of qualification. It, basically just shows that you're selective. It's really important that the girl knows that you're selective, that you're in the buyer frame and not the seller frame. She's interviewing for the job, not you, right? You're deciding if you're going to buy her product. You're not selling your product to her. And you're selective about which products you buy. So that communicates that, you know, she has to live up to your standards, and you're very selective. You're the selector, so if she's lucky, you're going to choose her, right?